feel our emotions and sit with them and go deep and almost like embrace them, when we can sit with them long enough, eventually we end up really hitting into our source point, our connection point. And the discipline is just to not continue blaming and attacking the external world for the feelings that you're having. So our ability to detach from the thoughts that we're having and just sit with the emotional body and let it move. Not that, we will have thoughts and we will go over things and our head will get involved and want to make sense of it all. And yet often we have to penetrate a deeper veil from within ourselves to clear or make sense of why the emotion is there and what it's actually doing inside your body. So when you're having an emotional wave experience where there's quite a lot of emotion being felt, that it's not, the point is that it's really not what we think it is. So why often we're feeling all the different feelings are not just about the external world. We're always feedbacking off of it. So in order to really shift and see a different world, we have to start to relate to ourselves in a different way. So the perspective shift is really something that happens from within us when we start to sensitize to our bodies, when we become more aware of the fact that we're having an experience in this form. So that's the idea of an awakening or waking up, is that when you have a spiritual awakening, it really is just this sudden, really otherworldly or profound experience, a direct experience that you're having with your own sense of self and your own reality, that's very unique and very usually different from what we're accustomed to or what we get taught or told. So this is, the reason I really like showing up in this way and sharing the journey is that it's painful on the emotional level. It's uncomfortable to sit with our emotions and to feel them. And ultimately, if we just keep attacking and justifying how we feel, we don't change. We end up looping back. Now, the circumstances do look a little different. It might be a different partner. It might be a different job, but the same emotional triggers keep coming back. And for some of us, there's a lot of density to work through, right? There's a lot of, sorry guys, I keep getting a message and I'm just like, I know I'm vlogging right now. For some of us, there's just quite a lot of veils to be lifted and things to work through until we can get to that really pure, loving, happy, joyful, and abundant place that, again, is the source point. And that's us just as an integrated, joyful being that basically knows that, I'm the totality and I'm joyful and I'm sad, but I can choose. But again, the point about allowing and feeling the emotions is that if we suppress them or deny them or pretend that it's only the other person that's all feeling all this stuff, again, we usually end up in kind of toxic patterns, or we end up sort of in some suffering patterns that usually things will get worse and worse until we really make a decision to change. And that's something I'm seeing played out on an individual level, myself and other individuals that I see around me, but also on a collective level. So part of the Earth's transformation is really about this mass awakening, this even spontaneous for a lot of people, where they suddenly begin to feel and they suddenly begin to remember who they are. And as people start to work through that stuff, we'll begin to see real changes, and real physical changes in the world. We'll start to see them, because that's the journey that those of us can testify to, is that you literally do live in a different reality. Your experience is different. It's weird and wonderful because it's not what we're taught. So we really do have to break through the veils and the conditions and the indoctrination and the institutionalization. We have to kind of break through all of those veils to claim ourselves, basically, to claim our sovereignty. And sovereignty, as far as I can feel into it, is really an unconditional loving space. So it's sort of a place of neutrality that allows the totality to experience and be as it is. And at the same time, it's a co-creative experience that you're having from within yourself, which is the source of all there is, which is it all. You know, so we really are like divine beings creating and having an experience, and it's a beautiful thing. It's also intense. Being limited in form is an intense choice, and it's an intense experience, but it is chosen on a certain level. So we want to embrace it, love it all, ride out those waves, and you know, without having to completely know everything and control all the experience and all that, what this work allows us to do is just pretty much no matter what's happening, even like lots of insanity, like drop back into yourself and just remember and come back to a peaceful place. That option is always there. It always works, you know, eventually. This too shall pass. You ride out those waves, ride out those emotional storms, and clarity is the reward, you could say. So deepen in, really allow yourself to feel deeply and trust and have faith, and do know that eventually, as you peel back enough of those threads and let enough stuff go, because that's what you're letting go of. You're letting go of the attachment to that idea, to that form of energy, right? So usually it's negative. That's the stuff we want to transform, the stuff that doesn't feel good to us. I can't even say negative or positive because it's very unique to each individual. But as we work through those densities within our own energy field and we let them go consciously, we can actually ask them, let go, I see you, I feel you, I honor you, let it go. And then eventually the storm passes and there's this beautiful peaceful clarity. And part of this awakening to me and communicating in this way is opening the door to this conversation, because so many people around the world and cultures and again systematic ways of being have denied the emotional body, and we're a little bit confused as to what it is, what its purpose is, and also how to use it in the most expansive and really beautiful way. It's just requires a little bit of a shift in our mind. I hope that was useful to you guys. Thank you so much for joining in as always, and thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Peace out.